Right then, guys. It's been a while. It's been about 2 weeks. Last thing I did was talk about transfers, and since then, quite a lot has happened in terms of football world. We've had some very terrible international games. We've had a lot of new transfers coming in. Had likes of Everton that have been strengthening massively. We've got Arsenal who finally got Gavin Magalhaes over the line. We've got Chelsea who's signing everyone. We've got Man United finally their first transfer of the window. We've just got just Liverpool, Man City, surprisingly not doing anything. We got Messi almost left. We got, yeah, a lot has happened since my last video. And this isn't a transfer video, as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail. This is my prediction for this season. This is being filmed on the morning of the Friday, the day before the season starts. So hopefully it should be up by before the actual season starts, but who knows? It's me. I'm not incredibly consistent, so yeah. No promises. I'm looking forward to the season, weirdly. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be the closest it's been for a while. We've had the likes of Man City and Liverpool in the upper 90s for the last couple of years, and Man City in the upper 90s to the hundreds for the last 3-4 years. And I feel like this is the first year where we could have quite a few teams in the mixer, which is exciting. We've got quite a few teams that could challenge. You've got Liverpool and Man City, of course. You've got United, who, let's not forget, teetered out near the end, losing the semi-finals to Chelsea and Sevilla. But they're still unbeaten since January in the league, and they have to be sniffed at, especially bringing in the likes of Donny van der Beek could make a difference in making sure they don't have as big a drop-off as they did last season. And if they were to bring more players into that, just a couple new signings, could see them kick on that little bit extra. Chelsea signing everyone that will strengthen their squad, make Frank Lampard very happy, and it'll be a lot more experienced side and a lot more stable side. And then you've got Arsenal, who have won 2 trophies in the last 2 months. It's going to be a good season, hopefully. We've got a season where quite a lot of teams are strengthened and quite a lot of teams look better than they did even this time last year. So let's get into my table prediction. Basically what I did was I did the whole thing of I went through and I just went through and read every single club and decided where I think they'll finish. And I also used an app to basically predict the scoreline of every single fixture for next season, and it made a table for me. So I'll be looking at how realistic that table is compared to what my actual predictions are. Let's get into it. Right then, as I mentioned before, I went through and calculated the table using this app, and okay, I think that the actual league positions, in terms of the top 6 at least, I feel like it's quite realistic. In terms of the top 10, it's quite realistic. But the points tally, I think, is off. We've got the likes of Man City on 98, you've got Liverpool and Man United both on 94, you've got Chelsea and Arsenal both on 87. I mean, 6 years ago, that's 5 teams. I mean, Leicester finished on 81 points, so Spurs on 82. When Leicester won the league, it would have meant that the top 6 sides this season would have all won the league in that year. So the points tally itself isn't realistic, but I feel like the league positions, the final positions in the table, is quite realistic. So let me just go through that one once more. Let me go through that one. There should be an image on the screen, but yeah. Man City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham as your top 6. And I'm going to be honest, my actual prediction itself, not just through the calculated table, is the exact same. The exact same 6, the exact same order. So, in terms of that, realistic. I reckon City will win the league. I reckon they'll kick on. I reckon they've gone over what the problems they had last year, which was they had some defensive frailties, because, let's be honest, they were the top scoring team in the league. They scored so many more than everybody else. They just conceded quite a few, because they didn't really have that solid centre-back partnership. They had Fernandinho, who is a defensive midfielder, playing centre-back throughout the season. They had inconsistencies in the likes of Otamendi playing every now and then, which is when he played against that game where they got embarrassed by Norwich. The likes of Ake will change that, and if transfer rumours are to be believed, then Koulibaly would come in and do the exact same thing. So it's a massive difference from Stones and a makeshift centre back in Fernandinho to being a defensive partnership of Ake and Koulibaly. Is very, very different. And they never had issues with scoring. It was just keeping them out their own net. And with those two, that won't be an issue. Alright, so that's a little rundown of Man City. That's a little cut there because I had to make sure that I was still in frame. Because I'm filming on a GoPro, which won't be the case for much longer. I'm going to get an actual camera. This is the GoPro Hero 8, so it's decent quality still. But the only issue is they haven't got a front-facing screen. So I can't tell if I'm in frame or not. So I just had to quickly check, and I am. Just about. Yeah, about an inch above my head, that wouldn't be. But yeah, I've got the table here in front of me. There's other things I'm looking at as well, like top goal scorer, top assister. The surprise team, like last season, the surprise team was definitely Sheffield United. The surprise manager, just everything like that. Best signing, yeah. I've got a couple of things to go through in this episode, likes of whether the table that I built is correct, whether the table that I simulated, how close that is to the one I predicted, as well as, all those things of top goal scorer and all that lot. And later on in the video, similar to what I did with the VAR episode, I have the opinion of my mate Peter. He will be in the end talking. He did the exact same thing as me, predicting the outcome, and he'll just talk about what happened, whether he thinks is realistic and what he thinks is going to happen next season. So yeah, basically, as I said before, rundown: City, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham is my top 6. And then just after that, I'm going to go for Tottenham, Leicester, Wolves, Sheffield United, Everton, as that's what the app said, which in actuality that's my top 10. My prediction is the exact same as this. It's actually, to be fair, it's very, very close. What the table built from my score lines, it's very close to what I predicted. I think it's the exact same top 12. Yeah, the exact same top 12. It's very similar. I'll probably put comparisons next to each other, but they're very similar. So I've gone for my actual predictions is City, of course. I've gone for that. Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham. I'll go into a bit more detail on that top 6 and that order a bit later on in the video. But I've gone in 7th place, the team that's just falling short of the traditional top 6. I've gone for Everton. They've done some incredible business so far. They've got the likes of Moise Keane, they've got Richarlison, they've got some very good talent. They've got Bernard, some people that can do some damage. Calvert-Lewin has looked good under Ancelotti, which, let's not forget they got Ancelotti as a manager. You can't go far wrong when you've got the likes of Ancelotti, who is such an incredible manager, who's got such a great CV, let's be honest. He's one of the most successful managers in this league. Well, not in terms of what he's done in this league, but in terms of what he can bring to the table. He's one of the more successful ones in this league, and the likes of Everton, it's a game changer for them. And bringing in the likes of Allen, James Rodriguez, Decore, what midfield that is. I imagine going up against that, they're going to boss the midfield. They've got the likes of Rodriguez to be a little bit creative. They've got Decore to just run the midfield and be a brute. They've got Allen who can do both. They're definitely one that I feel like they're going to be there or thereabouts in terms of top 6, in terms of qualifying for Europe, but they won't quite make it. Maybe the season after this one, but I feel like they're going to push on and manage to climb the leagues a little bit, but I don't think they're going to be able to go high enough that they're able to challenge. And then team just below that is Leicester, and I'm a fan of Leicester, to be honest. They did well. They only just missed out on top 4 last season. They were in the top 3 throughout most of the year, and then they just bottled it. They just basically bottled it after lockdown, and they never quite recovered, and they lost on the final day to Manchester United, meaning that they missed out due to that result, meaning Manchester United came 3rd and Chelsea came 4th, and then Leicester just fell short. And they had the likes of Jamie Vardy, who was carrying on his ridiculous goal scoring run. Then Didi, who was very good in midfield. They brought in Kagler Soyuncu, who came in and replaced Maguire. they've got a decent squad, but I feel like adding in Europe into what they're going to be doing next season is going to make it that much harder. And the drop off that we saw at the end of the last season, I think it's going to happen again next season, but just a lot sooner, just due to that extra pressure for Europe. I don't think they had the squad to cope with it. They've got a very good midfield of Ndidi, Madison, Tielemans, but what happens when they need to give one of those a rest? They're going to rest them in Europe, they're going to rest them in the Premier League, they're going to have the likes of like Hamza Chowdhury come in instead, who just isn't quite the same level. So I feel like they're going to have a lot of challenges next season. I feel like just because of that, they're going to drop quite a few places into 8th position. And another side that could have been challenging for Europe last season, and I think they managed to make it into Europe, was Wolves, but they're in 9th position. Like, I feel really harsh for putting these teams that low down, considering the seasons they've had and how good they've looked, and it makes them very good. They've brought in a good young Portuguese player, as they always seem to do. But it's not enough. Again, someone has to be that far down. Tottenham, I think, are going to break into the top 6. Arsenal will break into the top 6. And it was just between the 4 teams, really, of Everton, Leicester, Wolves, and then in 10th position Sheffield United. Just what order they want to go in. And to be fair, I think I'm happy with it. I think Everton, the business they've done, Ancelotti will put them in 7th. Leicester with Brendan Rodgers and Jamie Vardy continuing to score, but then the added pressure of Europe will mean they'll drop down a little bit, put them in 8th. Wolves have always been a side that's always been really tricky to beat. They've always been a good side, but they've never quite pushed on to that next level. They've made it into Europa League a couple of years, and they always seem to just fall short. And I don't think that this shouldn't be any different. I feel like they're going to just fall short again of everything they want to do. And then Sheffield United, who it's going to be a slight downgrade from last season. I think they finished 9th last season, putting them into 10th. I feel like Chris Wilder's done a great job there, and they've got quite some good talent. But they are going to miss the likes of Dean Henderson, whose loan has expired and is back at Manchester United, competing for the number 1 spot, David De Gea. I just don't feel like Sheffield United have what they did last season. They haven't got the surprise factor. Last season, let's not forget, they were a team that came to the league and they looked to just not really shut up shop. They played differently. They looked to just stay in games. They looked to like just build on performances. They didn't do like a Norwich and try and play football and just got beaten because of the difference in quality. They came there and they didn't quite outplay them, but they outperformed teams at times, and they got results. They got results, and I feel like you're going to look at them now and you're going to know how they're going to set up in somewhat. But I just feel like we saw a very different Sheffield United side from similar to Leicester from post-lockdown. And I felt like that Sheffield United side is the side that we're going to see next season that was on and off. It was a side that performed quite well in some games, beating the likes of Tottenham with a great result. I think they beat Chelsea as well, and then they've just fell to teams they shouldn't have been losing to. And in the end, it was that inconsistency that cost them, and they dropped further down the league. There was a point where with Leicester, they were in a top 4 battle, and in the end they fell short. And in the end, it was a traditional top 4 that did it, just through consistency. And I feel like they haven't quite got that yet, and they haven't really brought in anybody that I'm going to look at and go, that's what I'll kick on. So, yeah, I feel like I'm happy with them in 10th. So that is going to conclude my top half. Man City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Everton, Leicester, Wolves, Sheffield United. For top 10. And to basically start off the best of the rest, in 11th place I'm going to put Southampton. Hasenhüttl, you have to give credit to him. The job that he's done since that abomination, that abysmal performance that they got completely outclassed by Leicester, losing 9-0 at home, creating the new equal record. He's done well to recover. He did well to keep his job, and he's done well to. They were one of the best sides. I think they were top 4 last season in terms of points picked up away from home. And if they can convert that into points at home as well, they're going to be a real side next season. And they have got some players. Danny Ings has kept fit for a whole season and scored quite a few goals. They did lose the likes of Emil Pierre Højbjerg, went to Tottenham, but I don't think he's going to be that big of a miss. They've still got some very good talent there. And I think it's going to be just about enough to put them just above the rest of the other teams in the league. And just beneath them is the first of the promoted sides in Leeds, the side that won the league last year in the Championship after so many years of trying and so many years of just falling short. They managed to sneak in, and they're back in the league again. And as a Man United fan, I'm gutted. I can't go watch United play at Old Trafford. I'm hoping maybe by then they'll allow fans in, but who knows? It's kind of nice to see Leeds back in the league again. I wouldn't say it had been the same without them, but it's good to have a good team back in there. And Bielsa is an incredible manager. There's a lot of people that were saying that I wouldn't be surprised if he does a really good job by Christmas. He gets snapped up by likes of Barcelona, who currently have Ronald Koeman, who we have no idea how long he's going to stay there for. Especially he was there for 2 weeks and almost got Mr. Barcelona, almost got him chucking his toys out the pram, spinning out his dummy, and going off to Man City for free. So who knows how long he's going to be there for. Bielsa wouldn't be a bad person to snap up. So Leeds are putting in 12th, and I feel like likes of Rodrigo bringing them in is enough to keep them in the league, and to be honest, enough to keep them pushing on. And 12th is what they're going to get next season, is what I feel, but who knows? They might surprise us. They might do even better than that and then kick on and do even better the year afterwards. No one really knows, to be honest. The Championship and Premier League is very different. The fact that they've showed tendencies to bottle it, it's quite worrying. And Leeds fans will be quite worried about that they've always dated off towards the end of the season, and they need to work on not doing that anymore. Because Premier League it's a very mean league that the second you lose consistency. I mean, look at Sheffield United, as I mentioned previously. They went from battling for top 4 to about a month later being mid-table. So you never know. Drop some performances that aren't good enough, perform poorly, and you're dropping really far. So in terms of Leeds, they're going to hope that they don't drop points as consistently into the season as they have done previously. And to be honest, I feel like if they do, they would have done enough. And then I'm going to just quickly rattle off the next couple of names. Along with Burnley, pretty self-explanatory. They're a mid-table team, maybe just above, just below. They're always going to be there or thereabouts, and very unlikely with Sean Dyche to go down. They've got a different style of play that no one really else in the league has. Then we've got Crystal Palace and we've got Newcastle. Palace are one of those teams that, to be honest, I'm not surprised if it went down. I'm pretty certain if I check my phone, I think at one point I was looking back at the results I was predicting and they were going down from my prediction. When they survived. And to be honest, I've got them in 14th on my prediction as well. So 14th seems like a pretty safe shout. And Palace, they've got the likes of Zaha, and they've brought in the new lad Eberechi Eze, who's a very good talent. He looked very good last season. So who knows, maybe look out for him. He could be a surprise package. They've got some very skillful players in there. They were surprised they kicked on, but I feel like 14th is the best they're going to do. And up next, we've got Newcastle, who, again, a lot of people were touted to go down. I think they're going to have just enough, and let's be honest, they've done some good business. They brought in their front three is going to be not too bad next season. I feel like their front three alone will keep them up. They brought in the likes of Ryan Fraser from Bournemouth, Callum Wilson from Bournemouth, and Alan St-Maximin, and has got another full season under his belt. So I feel like that front three alone is good enough to keep them up in the league. And Almiron is now firing on all cylinders, so who knows? Who knows, maybe they might finish even better, but I'm not going to put them to go down. I don't think they will go down. I feel like they'll be quite comfortable. I reckon they'll hit the 40-45 point mark, which is usually where you say is safe, which, like I said in my earlier I don't think my simulation is quite correct, because 40 points will get you 11th, and usually that's about 16th. So I feel like they'll do it. Newcastle will do it. They'll kick on, and who knows? Maybe they'll finish higher than 15th. But that's not what I predicted. That's not what I predicted. And then next up, we've got Brighton. Just another side that you never know how they're going to do. They've got some decent players there. They've got Neil Maupay. They like to upset teams. They like to just stir the pot a bit. The likes of getting performances and get results against the likes of Arsenal, and keeping Lewis Dunk so far might be quite good business from them. They've got some good players over there, so hopefully just have to keep them up. And then next up is the team that's just going to survive relegation. Is the second promoted side. I'm going to say West Brom. A lot of people don't feel they've got a good enough team to compete or to stay up in the Premier League next season, and to be honest, I'd agree with a lot of them. But I also feel like the teams beneath them are in an even worse situation than they are. So I feel like West Brom, it's good to see them back. I'm hoping that West Brom can snatch up Ben Foster. Who knows? Because he doesn't deserve to win the Championship, man. He's getting on a bit, but he's still an incredible goalkeeper. I'd love to see him back at the Baggies again. So who knows? They've got an okay side. They've got likes of Pereira, who's quite good. I think Matty Phillips is still there. So they've got some good players, but who knows if they'll kick on? Who knows if that'll keep them in the league? Who knows? There's a lot of Kieran Gibbs as well. I'm not sure. I'm just running off a couple of names that I just remember seeing. Who knows? And then the bottom three, I've got West Ham just going down, and then beneath them is Aston Villa and Fulham. Aston Villa just about survived relegation last season on the last day of the season from Jack Grealish, and I feel like although they did well to stay up, they won't stay up. I feel like Dean Smith's side is going to go down next season, and I feel like, who knows, maybe around Christmas time they'll be in the spot bother, they'll be in relegation zone, and they'll be preparing for the next season. And that is when the likes of Manchester United can go for Jack Grealish and people like that. But the likes of Tyrone Mings to be going. I feel like Aston Villa are a side that are just waiting to come back down again. They've been in the Premier League now not too long, but I feel like their time is coming to an end. And Fulham, newly promoted side, I feel like their squad just isn't good enough to stay in the league. I feel like it's got Championship written all over it. And I feel bad for West Ham putting them in the relegation zone, because they did quite well last season, and David Moyes looked alright for them. Antonio started performing, but not only have they struggled at times last season, but their team, their squad, their togetherness, just the whole feeling around that side moment is just a bit off. They sold their young academy boy to West Brom, and you had like the likes of Mark Noble coming out and saying how disappointed he was with the club for selling him. You had Declan Rice liking his tweet and talking about it. So I feel like when your captain is coming out and publicly saying that they're disappointed with the club, it's never a good place to be in. And you'll see later on, I've predicted David Moyes to be the first manager to be sacked. I don't think it's going to be on performance basis. He might walk away, because the club, it's got a nice stadium, but they haven't done anything to do it. They just never kicked on. And let's be honest, there are a couple of players like getting poached from being very much a Championship side. And don't get me wrong, it's not too bad in West Ham in the Premier League, but there's some West Ham fans out there who wouldn't mind them going down to the Championship and having a bit of fun. Because I don't think it's much fun being a fan of a team that's going to be guaranteed 15th to bottom every season. Maybe going down is something that wouldn't be too bad for them, but it wouldn't fill the stadium. They need to carry that running track. And they need to try and figure out a way that they can get fans closer to the game, because it's just not a proper football atmosphere. And I won't say it's killing games, but it's definitely not at the moment. But it's just not quite the same atmosphere, and you don't go there scared of the rival fans just because you know that the atmosphere isn't great. And you can't really get behind your players as much. So, you know, if Declan Rice just goes to Chelsea as well, and for the money that they've been saying, maybe they can reinvest, but Declan Rice has been one of their best players, so who knows. But yeah, West Ham, I reckon, are going to go down. Let me just quickly run over the league table, and then I'll talk about just some different stats that I think is going to happen next season. So yeah, starting from top to bottom, Man City, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea to make the top four. 5th and 6th is Arsenal and Tottenham. Finish off the top half is Everton, Leicester, Wolves, Sheffield United. And then just surviving, or staying up, will be Southampton, Leeds, Burnley, Palace, Newcastle, Brighton, West Brom. And then going down is West Ham, Villa, and then in bottom, Fulham. So yeah, that's my table prediction, and it's slightly different to that of what the simulation gave me, because that gave me Newcastle, Brighton, Burnley as my bottom three, and I haven't got any of those in my bottom three prediction. But apart from that, I feel like I said before, it's the exact same top 12, so it's not too far out, but it's just got a couple of things in a bit of an off position. So yeah, it's not too shabby. But yeah, this is maybe a controversial one. I'm going to go for top goal scorer first. I've gone for Raheem Sterling, and maybe there's might be some question marks about that because he's not an out and out like incredible finisher or creates chances for himself. He's just scores a lot of goals. Let's not be silly about it. He got 20 goals last season in the league, and I think that he was equal, maybe one behind Danny Ings if you take out penalties. I think he was the equal second highest goal scorer in the league if you take out penalties, equal with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So let's be honest, he's no slouch for scoring goals, and with a Man City side that will be looking to push on in the league, could see him scoring even more. So don't be surprised if you do see Sterling as top goal scorer next season. I definitely won't be. I feel like Danny Ings won't be as good. I feel like Vardy won't be as good. Maybe Aubameyang has one eye out the door if he hasn't signed a contract by then, so he won't be performing as well. So don't be surprised if Sterling's up there. He's another year wiser. He's another year of knowing what Pep's system is. And then my top assister is the exact same as this year. You can't really have a top goal scorer and not have the same top assister. Well, you can, because quite often, but I'm going to say top assister is Kevin De Bruyne. He's just very good. There's all I'm going to say about it. He's just very good. Then next up, I've got surprise team. I've gone for Leeds United. I feel like they're going to have a similar season to that Sheffield United. They're going to come up, and instead of looking like they're worried about being in the Premier League, they're going to look as if they've always been there. They're going to kick on. They're going to be a decent side. I feel like they're a side that I put them in 12th, which, to be fair, isn't a bad place when you're just coming up into a new league. But they could go even higher than that. And as mentioned earlier, I'm going to put David Moyes as the first manager to be sacked. And like I said, not due to performances, I just think stay at the club. I feel like he just might not even be there. He might even make it to start the season. No one really knows. And I've gone for best signing. Painfully, I'm going to say Havertz, because he's one that, although he's a lot of money, he can be a big player, and he's got a lot of years in him. That being said, if you were to believe the transfer rumours, I'm going to put Sancho, if he does sign for United, will be the best signing of the summer. I don't think many people will disagree with me. I feel like Havertz at the moment, but the second Sancho signs, he is the best signing of the summer. And then next up, I'm going to say best manager. This season went to Jurgen Klopp because his team won the league. So, just going on that same structure, I'm going to say Pep Guardiola is going to win the best manager because I reckon his team's going to win the league. Pretty self-explanatory. And then next up, I'm going to go best defensive team. Manchester United. Well, obviously we have the most clean sheets, but I'm going to say that our goalkeepers are going to have the most clean sheets because we don't even know what goalkeepers going to be. But we were very good defensively in the end last season. We kept lots more clean sheets than we did beforehand. I think we had the second or third least goals conceded last season. We had the most clean sheets in Europe. So our defensive record is nothing to be sniffed at, and it can only get better. I reckon it will get better, and I reckon the likes of Liverpool and Man City, although I've said previously that Man City have shot at the defence, I feel like United if we can get likes of Sergio Reguilon or maybe an Upamecano to help in the back line, or even just the likes of Tuanzebe staying fit and Luke Shaw staying fit, and maybe some Academy boys and Ted and Mengi and people like that staying fit and getting chances, I reckon will be even better next season. And I've gone for best attacking side. I don't really think it's much of a question. Man City. most assists, most goals, and building on last season being the best attacking side. They're going to do it again. Pep Guardiola's teams always score goals. So Man City best attacking side. And then just a bit of a different one. I've gone for how many points it would take to win the league. It took last season Liverpool 99. It only needed 82 to win it because Man City got 81. But they got 99. Season before that it took 98, I think it was, and Liverpool got 97. The year before that, Man City got 100. So it's taken nothing less than 98 points to win the league. That's ridiculous. And although this number is above and beyond what it's been previously, I feel like the team that's going to win the league this year, which I predicted Man City, but it could be Liverpool, it could be any other team. I'm saying they're not going to get any more than 92 points. I feel like this team this year is going to be more competitive. I feel like whoever wins the league is going to drop points in at least 2 more games than they would have done previously. So I'm going to say 92 points is what's going to do it. I'm going to go. I've also gone through and predicted the outcomes of different cup matches. I've gone for FA Cup being Manchester United. I feel like they're going to kick on and go from a semi-final, 3rd/4th place team to finally winning one of them. And I feel like the FA Cup is the one we're going to do it in. A lot of United fans love the FA Cup, and I'm no different. I love the FA Cup. And previously, it's been Arsenal's trophy. And I feel like this year, we're going to go that one little step further, bringing the likes of Donny van der Beek to shore up and create some squad depth. I feel like Ollie is very good in knockout stages, to be honest. He's got us to... Well, we got to 3 semi-finals this year. And I feel like with the new addition, and hopefully new additions, we can push on that a little bit more and get a trophy. And then I feel like the League Cup winner is going to be Man City. It's been their trophy. It's been their trophy for like 3 years now. They seem to be their competition. I don't see anyone else winning. I feel like Man City will do the double this year. I feel like they're going to get a league and a League Cup. Now here's where we go to the European competitions. And this one I'm going to go for the very safe option. First of all, for the Europa League, I'm going for the Europa League Giants, the team that won it this year. Sevilla winning it again. Although they might not have as strong a team, losing the likes of Reguilon, whose loan has expired, is back to Real Madrid again and could be being shipped off. I feel like you can't really count them out. They're in the Champions League next season, of course, because they won the Europa League. But I reckon they'll come 3rd in their group and they'll come back to the Europa League again. I just see them winning it again. It's just Sevilla, Europa League. It goes together very well. And then here's the slightly controversial one: Champions League. I've gone for PSG. This is a bit of a surprise because they've never won it before, but they've never made it as far as they did this year. So getting to the final is they were 1 goal away, or 2 goals, but they were 1 goal away from penalty shootout. They lost the final by 1 goal. All they've got to do is improve by 1 goal next season, or 2 goals if you want to win it in the 90. All you've got to do is improve by 2 goals and you've won a tournament. It's not as simple as that, but I feel like they've got the experience now and they know what it takes to get there. They've just got to do that one little step further. And although Bayern Munich have been an incredible side and will continue to be an incredible side, the likes of Alaba is close to apparently going. You've got Thiago Alcantara has been linked to so many sides. They've still got some incredible attacking talent, but I don't know. I don't think Bayern Munich will do it as well next season, and I feel like PSG, this could be their year. I feel like Barcelona aren't where they used to be. Real Madrid aren't where they used to be, and English clubs, we struggled last season in European competitions. Man City bowing out to Lyon, United bowing out to Sevilla, Liverpool bowing out to Atletico Madrid. We had an all-English final in both European competitions, and we didn't even have a single one in any of the finals this year. So it could be an English year next season again. Could see Man City finally get their chance. But I don't think so. I think PSG are going to finally kick on. Anyway, that's enough from me. I'm going to now pass over to Peter, who is going to sign off the video and talk about what he thinks is going to happen next season. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. I haven't done a video in a while, and I apologise for that. But I'm going to do another video hopefully tomorrow, talking about and predicting the outcome of every single game in the opening weekend, which, excludes Manchester United. We're playing Burnley, maybe? And Man City against Aston Villa. So predicting the outcome of the other 8 games, and yeah, let's see how it goes, shall we? I will see you guys in a second. Pass on to Pete. Peace.
What's up, guys? This is my prediction for the season. So I'll just run through where's my notes? Here it is. Just run through my top 3. It is Man City, then Man United, then Liverpool. But if I got to sort of choose it myself, I think Liverpool will beat Man United. But I was using a game-by-game calculator, so it was sort of difficult to put in places where I wanted it. My bottom 3 were Villa, Fulham and West Brom. So I'll start with the top 3. I think Man City are going to come out overall, just on the pure fact of they're it's just a solid team, to be honest. From the attack to the defence, I wouldn't say there's many weak points. I think that Liverpool just got lucky last season, and I hate to say that because I think any team that wins have obviously deserved to be there. I think Liverpool do have a really good team, but I think Man City's team just were off at the start of the season especially, and just all season were average, and then near the end shot up again, and that's the only reason they didn't win. I think Man United will stick in third, second, sort of around that area. I don't think we've got everybody we need to push for sort of title. I'd like to see us at a title, and I hope anybody new we bring in, sort of all these transfer rumours, if we do get Sancho, I hope he comes in. I hope sort of that helps sort out the team. Liverpool, it's a stacked team of really good players from sort of a front 3 that seem to be some of the best in the world at this point. But then again, we didn't see them in the Champions League shot that much near the end, so I'd like to see how well they're going to do this season. I'd like to see if Man City intimidate them enough that they let up like they did at the end of this season. After they knew they won it, they had some really poor performances, but I'd like to see them play some more youth players as well. I think that's one thing Man United do well, so I'd like to see that a lot more from them. So let's go to the bottom of the table. West Brom at the very bottom. I've got no faith that they will do well. I think they're going to be in over their heads, and although they've got some good players, I just don't think they're going to do very well this season. Same with Fulham, same with Villa. I think they're just not ready. I think that it's going to be a good experience for them, as in they're going to be playing against the big leagues, and I think it's going to be good for them sort of bigging their team up. But I think they're just not ready to get into sort of even bottom half. They're going to be the very bottom of the bottom half. I don't think they're anywhere near the middle. I don't think they will be for a very long time. As terms of surprise teams, my prediction for a surprise team will either be Newcastle or Sheffield United. I feel they were very underestimated as teams, and I feel like they could have done a lot better. So I'd like to see that from them. Top scorer overall. Now, I had to think a lot about this one. And I had to be honest with myself, because I would love it to be Rashford or Martial, or I'd love it to be Greenwood. Having somebody who was a youth player, is brand new into the team, has performed so well. I'd love to see him banging in as many goals as possible. But my prediction for top scorer will be Werner. The reason I think Werner is going to be the top scorer is it's not because I think Chelsea are going to blow anybody out of the park or anything. I just think Werner's going to have a lot. He wants to come over here and prove to the Premier League. I think he performed really well over in the Bundesliga, but I think when he gets over here, he's going to want to prove his worth. not just to Chelsea, but to all the teams, because any football player wants progression. They want to be the best. They want to win the leagues. They want to win the cups. And I think Werner is no different. I think he knew that in the Bundesliga there are monopoly teams which they just can't be beaten. Like in the Serie A, you've got Juventus. Juventus is so big at this point that there is no... that even the contenders would say that it's not a team, it's more of a huge business. But it's just so big. And I think Werner has come over here to prove that he is no pushover, that he does not take second, even if, when it's up to him, he will prove his worth. So that's my prediction. See ya.